Bubbles and Brioche begins at the top center of the shawl with an I-cord tab cast on, followed by 2-color brioche with colors A and B, dark blue and white. I wrote the pattern using 4 contrast colors. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 contrast colors for the bubble technique, but you can use as many contrast colors of fingering weight yarn as you like. Using color A, we'll cast on right here at the top center. Using any cast on 3 stitches, knit those 3 stitches, and slip them onto the left needle. We're going to repeat that 4 times. Knit 3, slip 3, knit 3, slip 3. Here is the first repeat. Knit 3 and slip 3. Number 2. Number 3. And number 4. Knit 3 and slip them onto the left needle. After we do that, we're going to knit 3 once more and pick up and knit 5 stitches along this I-cord edge. When you pick up stitches along the I-cord edge, you can go through both legs of a stitch. Number 1, number 2, not one leg, but both legs. Number 3, 4, and 5. You should now have 8 stitches on your needle. Turn to work the wrong side. Pick up and knit 3 stitches from the I-cord cast on edge. I'm going to get the first stitch right here. So very close to that stitch that you just knit. So pick up and knit 1, and then our next 2 will happen down here and here. You can get any strand of yarn that's easy to pick up. Number 2, and we need to get something down here. And a number 3. It doesn't really matter exactly which strand you get. And we can use this tail from the cast on as surgery to stitch and hide any boo-boos. After you pick up and knit 3 stitches, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1 twice. After you knit 1, purl 1 twice, keep the yarn in front. We're going to slip the last 3 stitches with yarn in front. After we finish this row, don't turn the work. We're going to slide the stitches on our circular needle and work this same side with color B. Using B, knit 3, slip 1, yarn over. Slip 1, yarn over is a brioche term where before you slip the stitch, the yarn needs to be in front of your right needle as you slip that stitch. So you get a slip stitch and a yarn over. Let me show that one more time. Slip 1, yarn over. This is 1 unit. Slip, so that yarn is in front to give you a yarn over. If you're holding the yarn in your right hand, slip 1, yarn over. You need to bring the yarn forward first to slip, and you'll have this yarn over on top of the needle. Knit 1, slip 1, yarn over. The yarn always needs to be in front before you slip 1 with the yarn over. Knit 1, and slip 1, yarn over. Yarn forward first to slip. So there's that yarn over and the slip. I always think of that slip stitch like it's wearing a shawl, a yarn over shawl. So that's one whole stitch, the stitch with its shawl accessory, that yarn over. Now we need to slip 3 with yarn in front. So wrap the yarn around forward, slip those last 3 stitches with yarn in front. Turn to work row 1, right side. Row 1, right side, using color A, knit 3, bark, yarn over, bark, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit. Knit into the next stitch with its yarn over, and knit into that stitch again, producing 3 stitches coming from 1 stitch. Let me show that again with my right hand. Brioche knit means to knit into the stitch and its yarn over. Keep the stitch on the left needle, yarn over, brioche knit again. Bark, yarn over, bark. Slip 1 yarn over, make sure the yarn is in front, slip, and then bark, yarn over 8, bark. This is going to be a big increase. We're going to brioche knit into this center stitch, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit. We're doing this 8 times. Knit, yarn over, knit, yarn over. So we're always keeping this stitch on the left needle. Let's see, how many times have we done that? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So that was 7 times. We need to do it once more. Knit, yarn over. This was the 8th time, so there's 16 stitches there. And then we need to brioche knit once more. And then we can take it off. That's the bark, yarn over, 8, bark. Look at that. We just increased 16 stitches out of that 1 stitch. So now there's 17 total strands. The original stitch plus the 16 extras. Slip 1 with a yarn over, bark, yarn over, bark, bark, yarn over, bark. Take it off. Let me show that once more for you continental knitters. Brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, and slip the last 3 stitches with yarn in front. So that was a lot for row 1. Before we turn around, we need to slide the stitches because our color B is hanging out over here. After you work color A, you always slide the stitches to work color B. Right side, knit 3, slip 1 with a yarn over, purl 1, slip 1 with a yarn over. Brioche purl 1. Purl the stitch together with its yarn over shawl. Let me show that again for you right-handed English style knitters. So here's the slip 1 with the yarn over. Brioche purl. Purl the stitch together with its yarn over shawl. Now we are going to slip 1 yarn over, purl 1 8 times. The yarn is already in front, so we can slip, give it a yarn over, and purl. Slip, give it a big yarn over, and purl 1. Slip with a yarn over, purl. Slip yarn over, purl. This feels a little bit different because the yarn is already in front after you purl. So you can slip, but then it needs the yarn over to purl. Let me do the rest of these for you continental knitters with my left hand. So slip one with the yarn over, slip the stitch, there's the yarn over, and purl. I'm taking my needle behind the yarn to slip, because remember, when you do the slip one yarn over, the yarn always needs to be in front first. Purl, slip with the yarn over, purl. That was the 8th time. Now we need to slip one with the yarn over, brioche purl, slip one with the yarn over, purl one, slip one with the yarn over, and slip those last 3 stitches with yarn in front. Now that we've worked both colors on the right side, we can turn to work the wrong side. Row 2, wrong side, using A. Knit 3, brioche purl 1, slip 1 yarn over to last 4 stitches. Brioche purl, slip 1 with the yarn over. Brioche purl, slip. Purl the pair, slip. Purl the pair, slip. If you ever notice, look at this. What happens if your yarn over falls off? Uh-oh. So I'm supposed to brioche purl, but I don't see the yarn over. If you're missing the yarn over, it's either gonna fall to the front or fall to the back. There it is. You never want that stitch to be without its shawl. Brioche purl, slip, brioche purl, slip, brioche purl, slip with the yarn over, brioche purl, slip with the yarn over. So I'm purling color A with its shawl, and I'm always slipping the opposite color. So purling the same color with its shawl, and I'm working with the dark A, so that means I'm slipping the light B. Purl and slip. Purl and slip to last 4 stitches. And then I'll brioche purl and then slip the last 3 stitches with yarn in front. That's the end of row 2 with color A, but we don't want to forget color B. Slide the stitches to work the same side with color B. Row 2 using B. Knit 3, slip 1 yarn over, brioche knit, slip 1 yarn over to last 3 stitches. Slip 1 with the yarn over, brioche knit, slip 1 with the yarn over, brioche knit, slip, brioche knit. I'm taking my needle behind the yarn as I slip. Knit, slip. For those of you holding the yarn in your right hand, brioche knit. The yarn needs to come forward before you slip. Knit, slip, knit, slip, that was a knit, and slip. And notice as I'm knitting, I get that yarn over on top of my slip stitch. So yarn is always in front before you slip. Knit. And we'll slip one with the yarn over. And we need to bring that yarn in front before we slip the last 3 stitches. So now, as we're looking at our stitches, we have these color B knit stitches on the wrong side, and then our color A has the little yarn over shawl. So every other stitch should be a single stitch, and then the other ones should be the outfit. The slip stitch with the shawl. Super cozy. Turn to work row 3, right side, using A. Knit 3 with color A. Brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit. Knit, yarn over, knit. Slip one with a yarn over, and then brioche knit one, slip one yarn over to last 4 stitches. Knit, slip. Knit, slip, knit, slip. When you reach the last 4 stitches, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit into the same stitch, and slip 3 with yarn in front. Row 3, right side, color A. After we work that, slide the stitches. Using B, knit 3, slip one with a yarn over, purl one, slip one with a yarn over, brioche purl, slip, brioche purl, slip with a yarn over, brioche purl, slip, purl, slip with a yarn over. And purl one, slip one with the yarn over, and slip the last 3 with yarn in front. That was the end of row 3, right side. Work row 4, wrong side, and then you're going to repeat rows 3 and 4 6 more times until you have 59 stitches. You can already start to see the prominence of color A on the front with those knit stitches, and color B on the back with the knit stitches. So you'll get this reversible, ribbed look. So make sure on the right side, you're always knitting with color A, and on the wrong side, you're knitting with color B. And it should look like this, with this 2-color ribbing after you repeat rows 3 and 4. Once you finish the brioche section, you should count 16 knit columns in each color A column. There should be 16 rows counted there. You should have 59 stitches and break both strands of yarn. The bubble section, row 1, begins with a contrast color. So you can use your first contrast color to knit 3, bark, yarn over bark, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, knit 1. We're going to repeat that to the last 4 stitches. Brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, knit 1. Bark, yarn over, bark, knit 1. Continue working that increase into every knit stitch. And then we're going to knit each of these purl stitches. Brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, knit 1. Brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, knit 1, all the way to the last 4 stitches. And then we'll work a bark, yarn over bark, a final increase there, and then slip the last 3 stitches with yarn in front. Continue to work rows 2, 3, and 4, and repeat those rows until you have 6 total rows of your first contrast color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here are rows 1 through 6 using your first contrast color for the bubble section. Break your yarn after you have those 6 rows. You should have 117 stitches. Row 7, right side, choose your next contrast color and knit 3. Knit front back. Knit 2. Knit 1 into the stitch from 4 rows below. We're going to knit a stitch 1, 2, 3, 4 into here. And then the exciting part, we'll take that stitch off the needle and then we get to unravel that row. It's the scary and fun part. Knit 3, and I'll show that again. So knit 1 below, knit 3, knit 1 below, knit 3. Knit into the stitch from 4 rows below. Start counting here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull the yarn through and then take the stitch off the left needle. And you can give the yarn a tug to unravel that row. But it shouldn't unravel all the way because we stopped it by knitting into the stitch below. Knit 3. And it can also help, instead of counting from the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, you can also count from the bottom. 1, 2. It should be the second stitch from the bottom. Take it off. You can pull on the strands. And I usually knit that stitch pretty tight. You know, not too tight. You want the stitches to be able to slide on the needle, but you don't have to do it too loose. Knit 3, knit 1 into the stitch from 4 rows below. Take it off and let it unravel. And you can pull it a little tight. 1, 2, 3, And here we go. Let me show you that a couple more times for you continental knitters. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3, 4. So every fourth stitch, you should dive down into the stitch from 4 rows below. 1, 2, 3, knit below. 1, 2, 3, knit below. Follow that all the way to the end of the row, and as we repeat these bubble stitches, it will become more apparent, this protruding texture. And then it's important that as you work the next contrast color, look what happens. We have the bubble stitch going down, and then 1, 2, 3, knit below, 1, 2, 3, knit below. So every fourth stitch, we have that bubble. The next time you do the bubble, it will be in between, in the middle of where you did the knit below before. So if you did the knit below here and here with your second color, you'll do it in the middle with your third color. So you can see how they alternate. And that's what makes the bubble. So enjoy this technique. It's really easy. You only work with one color at a time, and it looks really nice on the front and the back. These are all the main techniques, the brioche and the bubbles. You'll get some easy garter stitch for this shawl, more bubbles, practice your brioche again. And when you finish, we're gonna bind off with a striking I-cord bind off in stripes. So as you bind off, just take care that you're doing 2 rows of each color for the bind off. Don't bind off too tight. You want the bind off to have a little bit of stretch. So just pay attention to that as you're binding off, that it's not too tight. Make sure it has a little bit of give, and that will make sure that your shawl blocks out beautifully in the end.